Hey guys, this is Clinton Chef and today we're checking out the brand new iteration of the Yeezy 350 V2 in this mono clay colorway. We've seen leaks of this new mono silhouette for ages now with these pretty major changes to the upper, so I'm glad to see these finally drop. So yeah, let's check these out. Wow, this is a weird one. The Yeezy 350 V2 Mono series dropped this June 24th globally at a retail price of $220 in the US. But this time around, Yeezy dropped 3 region exclusive colorways. The Americas got the Mono Ice, which is the more popular colorway since it's easier to style. Europe got the Mono Mist, which is also a pretty nice colorway that's easy to style. And Asia got this, the Mono Clay, which is a really unique colorway that isn't quite as easy to style, like at all. Not sure why Yeezy thinks Asia is obsessed with this tonal orange color, but here we are. I've been looking forward to the new iteration of the Yeezy 350 V2 ever since I saw the first leak. So while I'm bummed out that I couldn't get the Mono Ice colorway, which is the one that I really wanted, I'm trying to be at peace with this Mono Clay colorway instead. The Yeezy 350 V2 first dropped all the way back in 2016, and in the years since, we haven't really seen any major changes to the silhouette at all, apart from Yeezy experimenting with different knit patterns and infinite lacing systems. On one hand, that's a true testament to how the Yeezy 350 V2 is a shoe that just looks great and has been aging pretty well over the years. But on the other hand, it's definitely time for them to try something new with it, and that's where this iteration comes in. Sure, the general shape remains the same, but when you look at the upper with that new organic looking underlay and the new materials used, there's quite a bit new here. Starting with the box, it's your usual draw style Yeezy 350 V2 brown box with Boost written on the side, the model number up top and the size tag on the side that says the name of this colorway. Unfortunately, no extra laces this time around. Coming to the shoe itself and starting with the upper, instead of previous 350 V2s where you'd see a primeknit upper, this time around, Adidas has switched to an entirely different, transparent mesh material. This mesh actually feels very similar to the material usually used on the side stripes on the recent 350 V2s. So I'm assuming that this has to be made from plastics. Now the primeknit on the 350 V2s might not be as soft or as stretchy as what we've seen with the Ultra Boost DNA, but it's still really comfortable and breathable on feet. And that has led to the reputation that the 350 V2 has as a really comfortable sneaker along with that Boost midsole. On the other hand, this mesh material isn't as stretchy, so sizing is going to be really important here. But we'll talk about sizing later on. Because this mesh is translucent, it gives the shoe a really interesting alienish vibe with that organic looking underlay beneath. Of course, this means that the color of the socks that you wear is going to be very important. It will look cleaner on the Mono Ice colorway, but here just make sure that the socks you're wearing underneath don't clash with the tonal orange color. Moving to the top of the shoe, you still have that signature visible seam running up the middle of the shoe, connecting the two sides of the upper together. It's not exposed stitching like we've seen on the primeknit 350 V2s though. Instead, it's just a clean seam that runs up the middle. It does look more minimalistic, but I do prefer the exposed stitching detail. I wish they did that here, but with the materials used, this was probably a better match. But because of the colors used, this does not look that great on the Mono Clay colorway. Rather, it kind of makes the shoe look a little cheap, which isn't great. Moving on, you'll see these light orange Yeezy rope laces, which seem similar to what you usually get with Yeezys, except here there seems to be this translucent mesh layer around the laces, just to give it a little extra something. The problem is that this is an extra layer around the lace, which might look cool and all, except in cases like this, with this factory defect on my extra pair, where the layer around the lace is loose and will definitely tear apart over the next couple of months or years. Another problem with this is that these laces are also really hard to keep tied because of that plastic mesh layer. They just come undone really easily because there's less friction keeping them in place. So you have to tie these extra carefully. Maybe even double knot them. Geez, one time that Yeezy infinite lacing system would have come in useful. Apart from that, you'll also notice that the lace eyelets have also been changed. With the primeknit 350s, it was just a punch hole in the knit that the laces would pass through. But they couldn't do that here because it might make the laces fray or the upper tear since it isn't a very stretchy material. So instead we see these plastic eyelet circles that the laces weave through. Moving along, the ankle collar of the shoe has this piping in a slightly light orange that is the same color as the laces. And then coming to the inside of the shoe, you have this light orange sock liner that feels just like a regular pair of 350 V2s. You'll see the Adidas 3 stripes at the back of the heel in a 3M reflective finish. And then at the bottom is the usual Yeezy insole, but this time around there's the size tag stuck right on it. I guess they couldn't stitch the size tag into the upper because it might not look that great, so here we are. It's an odd, annoying location for the size tag, and it does mean that that size tag is definitely going to rub off over the months and years that you wear this shoe. Apart from that, the insole is in a bright orange color with the Yeezy and Adidas trifoil branding here in this light grey color. And then coming to the side of the shoe, underneath that tonal orange mesh, you'll see this really alien organic looking underlay with these giant oval cutouts that are the main attraction of this new style. The underlay seems to be made out of a soft felt material and basically acts as the inner sock liner for the shoe. It doesn't really contribute much to the structure of the shoe, which seems to be formed by the mesh upper instead. The oval cutouts allow the upper to be really breathable since air passes through the mesh upper right to your feet with every step that you take in these. That organic looking underlay is really something that you love or hate. Personally, I think it looks just okay, and it's really in line with Kanye's whole organic design scheme that he's been pushing with Yeezy lately. But I don't think I'd buy another pair with this design. I think just one is enough. I think a lot of people aren't really fans of this new organic look and the tonal orange colorway here in Asia. So these actually sat on adidas.com for about a day or two before they finally sold out, which is really unheard of with the 350 V2. The good thing about this orange colorway though is that at least it won't yellow over time. With the Mono Ice colorway, you've got that plastic mesh white upper and that white Yeezy midsole. So you know that shoe is going to yellow bad over the years. At least with the Mono Clay and the Mono Mist, you won't have to worry about that. Moving along, on the lateral sides of the shoe, you will see the usual Yeezy side stripe. But unlike previous 350 V2s, this is not a separate piece of material. It's the same material as the rest of the upper, just in a different color. Here on the Mono Clay, it's a darker shade of orange in a translucent stripe across. Apart from that side stripe, the lateral and medial sides are very similar on the shoe, which is unlike the details on the primeknit 350 V2s. Moving on, coming to the back of the shoe, you'll notice the central seam stitching once again, but also the return of the 350 V2 pull tab here in this translucent orange mesh material. Ah man, I'm so glad to see the pull tab back. The mesh material here seems really rigid, so it's not gonna flex at all. Moving down to the midsole, you have that signature Yeezy midsole with ribbing that everybody has seen for a while now. That whole upper sits on a full-length boost midsole that is encased within. The exterior of the midsole here is kind of semi-translucent light orange, so you can kind of see the boost midsole within and where the midsole connects with the upper, which is cool. Like most other 350 V2s, at the back there's this area here where the outsole connects over the midsole, but both areas are in the same colors, the outsole and the midsole both. And lastly, the bottom of the shoe is your usual 350 V2 outsole in the same translucent orange color as the midsole with these little cutouts for the boost. For any of y'all that have tried out a pair of Ultra Boosts, or any Boost shoe for that matter, y'all know how comfortable Boost is, and that is the primary reason why the 350 V2s are such a comfortable pair of sneakers to wear, and hence so popular because they're just really comfortable shoes. Alright, coming to fit and sizing, this is important because these do not fit like previous 350 V2s. As I mentioned earlier, the materials used this time around are not as stretchy as primeknit, and as such the fit on these has changed a bit. A lot of other reviewers are saying that these fit through to size now, which is kind of true. If you have narrow feet, you can go true to size here, but if you have wide feet like I do, I definitely recommend going up at least a half size with these, because otherwise they're just a little bit too snug. I'm a size UK 11 but I have really wide feet, so I went up a half size to a UK 11.5 here, and I gotta admit I wish I went up a full size to a size UK 12 instead, because I still feel like these are a little bit too snug, but then there might be too much room in the toe box area. I know it's really hard to try on these shoes first, because it's not like you can just walk into a store and find them, but if you've never tried on a pair of 350 V2s before, I'd advise doing a bit of research on sizing if you're not sure. The sizing is a little similar to the Ultra Boost 21 if you want to head on over to a store and try those out instead. But the Ultra Boost also has a knit upper, which is more stretchy, so keep that in mind as well. Alright guys, with all that out of the way, let's take a look at the Yeezy 350 V2 in the Mono Clay colorway on feet. Honestly, I like that Yeezy tried to bring their organic design to the 350 V2s, but I'm just not feeling these. I think it might be because of that color. I'm just not a big fan of orange. I feel like it's really hard to style, and I don't have anything that's orange or a complementary color in my entire wardrobe. I really wish that Yeezy dropped the Mono Mist or the Mono Ice colorways in Asia instead, which I do think are much easier to style. But apart from that, I'm just really not feeling that new organic design. I think my main problem isn't the design itself, but instead it's the sacrifices made to incorporate this design, switching from the comfortable primeknit to this new mesh material instead. But that's just what I think about the Yeezy 350 V2 in the Mono Clay colorway. I'd love to know what you guys think about this new colorway and the new organic design. Are you thinking about picking up a pair or a different colorway? Or are you gonna skip these? Let me know right in the comment section below. And of course, if you wanna see more photos of the Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Mono Clay, you can head on over to my Instagram account to check them out and maybe give me a follow at ClintonJeff. And hey, if this video was helpful and you want to support the channel, don't forget to hit the like button right below and maybe subscribe in case you haven't yet, because that would be definitely appreciated. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.